It is early morning in the bottom of the icy mountains of the Himalayas. The crack of dawn flashes its first ray of sunlight into the half-open eye of a great bald eagle from the North Americas. He is lying in a pile of his own feather, two broken wings, and clinging on a dear life. And he takes himself to a happy place, back in the prairies where he soared and roamed the skies. He guarded younger birds from bloodthirsty vultures. He guided those who flew cricket, and he was always breaking fights with these other eagles who were trying to claim territories in different parts of the skies. He always tried to show them that the sky didn't belong to anyone. It was there long before them and will be there long after they're gone. He enjoyed flying solo and doing his own thing, handling his business as the Skywatcher. Every morning he would race the sun to the top of the skies, above the clouds, far away from everyone and everything, almost to the heavens, and he would let out his mighty screeches that could be heard from the land below, almost as if to proclaim his place as Skywatcher, King of the skies. And on one of these glorious morning rituals, he was soaring up high, and he could see the sun quickly approaching. But before he could let out one of his mighty screeches, he heard an even more thunderous screech coming from high above him. And he thinks to himself, someone flying higher than me? No way. So he swoops upward to get a closer look. But the closer he came, the higher and further this other eagle went. He was furious now and now found himself doing what he was supposed to be against and trying to claim a part of the sky, the top of the sky. As they both get higher and higher, it becomes harder and harder to breathe. He could not get as high as this other eagle. Everything gets blurry as he slips into unconsciousness. And when he awakes, he's gliding over the land, but he is not flapping his own wings. He can feel himself being released, and he quickly opens his wing to gain balance. And when he looks up, he sees that this is no normal eagle, but a female eagle with a smirk on her face. And he'd never seen anything so beautiful in his life. He's quite embarrassed at what just happened. He doesn't know how to respond, so he quickly darts toward her. But she is too swift with her movements. She taunts his every attempt to catch her. She knew very well that he could never catch her and she could escape easily. But she also realizes that she very much liked to be chased. So he chased her across many rivers, many forests, even across deserts, oceans, and mountains, until one day she eventually gave in and decided they fly together. And they've already seen it all in such a short amount of time together. When the mating moon rose, he built them a nest on the highest point of the highest mountain, of the greatest mountain range around, Mount Everest. He built them a nest where she would always be on top of the world, since she liked being so high all the time. And then when the hatching moon rose, they were so excited to bring one of their own into this world. They waited eagerly for the egg to hatch. They waited and 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 they waited. Now see, they were so busy caught up flying high together away from their own habitat, they never once stopped to realize that they weren't in a suitable environment to bring up one of their own. The altitude they were in was no place for an egg to hatch. When the hatching moon set for the last time, she grabbed the egg and disappeared into the night. He responded in pursuit as she let out her distressed cries into the empty darkness. She shoots upward, flying higher and higher, and he flapped higher, harder and harder than he ever flapped in his life. And he's actually getting closer to her. But the higher and higher they get, the harder and harder it is to inhale. He could never get as high as her. There's a twinkle in his eye as his last sight ever gets blurry, and he slips into unconsciousness, falling from grace. It is early morning in the bottom of the Himalayas. The crack of dawn flashes its first ray of sunlight into the half-open eye of a great bald eagle from the North Americas. He is lying on a pile of his own feathers, two broken wings, and clinging on a dear life. And he thinks to himself, how could it possibly get any worse than this? He had it all and lost it all in such a short amount of time. Just then, the sunlight dims for a split second, and he can see above him two golden eagles circling him, flying lower and lower. And when they land, he could tell by their predator-like movements that they have not come to help, but have stumbled upon an easy breakfast. And as they are approaching this half-dead outsider, they stop in their tracks as he begins to move. In tremendous agony, he uses all the strength he has left to stand up to these predators. He lets out a mighty war cry, a piercing screech that could be heard from the heavens. The two golden eagles immediately flock off as he's letting out all his pain, all his sadness, and all his anger, all his pain all at once. An overwhelming feeling of adrenaline takes over, pushing him to keep moving forward. This cannot be the end. This is not it. Keep moving forward. He sees Mount Everest in the distance and plans to do what no eagle has ever done before and walk, not climb, not fly, but walk and climb to the top for one last leap off. His wings should be healed by then. By the time he gets there, to fly him back home where he could go back to being a Skywatcher. If not, he could fall to his death, which wouldn't be so bad because maybe then he could fly up to the heavens where she could already be waiting with the hatched egg. But as long as he is still breathing, he will not let these vultures prey on the vulnerable. He will not let these other eagles walk over him because he's different. He's not afraid of them. He's not afraid to jump and fall again. He is not afraid of death. He is not afraid of anything. So inch by inch, little by little, day by day, he will make his way back to the top of the world. And he will fly again.